Drill instructors / drill sergeants of Reddit, what's the funniest thing you've seen a recruit do that you couldn't laugh at? An RDC in another division asked a guy if he shaved that morning and the guy claimed he had. The RDC said, "Recruit, you are either a werewolf or you are lying, so which is it?" The guy responded, "I must be a werewolf, petty officer." "Why is that man howling at the moon, petty officer?" "Lying, sir." Carry on. We had two 5 feet 1 inch stocky blonde guys named Johnson in our company one cycle. Different platoons, no relation at all, but they looked really similar. One day during grass week a couple J-hats made them face each other and go back and forth screaming, "You're not Johnson, I'm Johnson." "No. Fuck you, you're not Johnson, I'm Johnson." You have absolutely no clue how hard it was to not break into a million pieces after about 5 minutes of that. I'm Dirty Dad. Boot Camp Edition. Not a dib, but I enjoyed watching this happen. On hikes my dis loved having conversations using the recruits as messengers. The D at the end of the formation would send a recruit to the front to give the D up there a message and back. They would either have stupid conversations or talk trash using the recruit. This was something my wrestling coaches did at wrestling camp to make us run more. Eventually they ditched the facade and just made the person in back sprint to the front every time a whistle blew. Buddy of mine told a story when he was at basic. One guy had said yes ma'am to the female DS earlier in the day, so when they were all lined up, she was going down the line, asking each person if they called her ma'am earlier. The guy who did was fourth in line, heard the 3 previous guys say, "No, drill sergeant," and then said in all seriousness, "No ma'am." Edit, thanks for my first silver. I overheard a "Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer." Okie dokie. Petty officer had to make a quick about face and flee before he busted up laughing. It was fantastic. Not a drill sergeant, but when I was in basic I saw 3 drill sergeants surrounding a private who was laying down, and they were all screaming, "Go the fuck to sleep right now, private. You take a goddamn nap this very second, you poor tired soul." Not exact words, but you get the gist of it. I still wonder how he got himself into that predicament. Caught sleeping. Can guarantee. Better than chanting "stay awake, stay alive," for a couple hours. One of my instructors was a Vietnam vet. He said a VN soldier on watch fell asleep at his post one night. The soldier's commanding officer found out, came over there, and shot him in the head. We had a TI and TI in training with us as we were marching to a class. Some people were out of step, so the TI started screaming, "Don't you know your right from your left? Did the antenna fall off your house when you were a kid? Didn't your mommy and daddy let you watch 3-2-1 Contact?" The TI in training lost it. So did I. My flight's training TI was a spitting image of Eddie Murphy. Imagine Eddie Murphy teaching you how to about face. During FTX, the DS told me to get a trash bag, then go around and collect as many pine cones as I could. For like 3 hours. Had a bunch of trash bags. He then took a little walk around, contemplated for a bit, then said that he was mistaken and it looks better with pine cones. He ordered me to redistribute all the pine cones. One guy had a leaf on his ruck after an FTX and got the company smoke for stealing private property from federal lands. Everyone was laughing a bit, even the DS. Rick. Do you mean ruck, or does some other service have a piece of equipment called a rig? Honestly curious, there's some stupid names in the army. Had 2 guys laugh when RDC walked in, so he had them stand almost noses touching each other. One would yell "want to hear a joke" and the other would yell "ha ha ha" repeatedly for hours. It was hilarious at first, but once their voices started to crackle it got old pretty quick. Edit, thanks for the silver is my first. Damn, that is pretty funny. Ha ha ha. I work at basic training ranges and we had a drill SGT yell at his solider while they were getting ready to go down a buddy live fire exercise. The solider froze and started crying. This 18 years old kid was just in tears for getting yelled at. The DS yelled at him some more and he finally gave up cause this kid wouldn't stop crying. So he made him scoop tears off his face and put them in his pockets till he filled his pockets up with tears. He did this for like an hour. It was hilarious. Clarify this for me, are you telling me this young man cried for an hour straight? We had this kid who kept pissing himself. One day, after the range, he informs our DID that he had shiz himself right after showers. Squad bay starts to hold back laughter. D, it's not funny. Awkward silence. D, okay, it's a little funny, but we aren't laughing. Man never cracked a smile during the whole thing. What I want to know is, why did the dude keep pissing himself? Holding it too long? A bit soft in the noggin? I doubt that information was ever given. I just thought I'd be a curious cretin and ask. What I'm getting from this thread is that military training is like joining a non-consensual improv troupe. Not only that, but you get to shoot guns and see the world while getting paid. Can't beat that. /S. I knew a guy that was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam. He said it was a beautiful country. He probably met and shot at a lot of interesting people. He was a pilot, he didn't shoot anyone. His buddies in the back took care of it. I've got the gunners in the back. What's that disgusting crap all over your glasses, maggot? I believe it's your saliva, drill sergeant, sir. Closes eyes and waits for death. Oh he DED. Drill sergeant, sir. He very DED. We had a perpetual fudge up in our platoon that for once actually did nothing wrong. However, his reputation led the DID to believe he did. So for a good hour or so they made him leap between one set of bunks, crawl under the next, then leap between the next over and over and over. All while yelling, me, myself, and I, sir. U.S. Air Force. TI, are you finished yet? Trainee done? No, sir. I'm done. TI, walks away to avoid laughing. When I was in boot camp, our drill instructor had a recruit sit in front of his own reflection, stainless steel panel, and continually ask himself if he really wanted to be here, for 3 fudging hours. All while screaming at him to mean it, and I don't believe you. I don't know how they didn't crack up. Was hilarious. One of my green belts had a recruit stand in the head in front of the mirror and point to his reflection and say, I'm not crazy, then point to himself and say, you're crazy. It went on for 45 minutes or so until our senior came in and put a stop to it. Not many comments here, so ill at my bid. One recruit left his training guide just lying on his rack. My lead RDC decided this was punishable by making the recruit stand in the middle of our berthing, hold the training guide in the left hand, salute it with the right hand, and then bring it in and gently whisper, I love you, training guide. I'm sorry I left you out. He'll never leave you lying around again. That shiz was hilarious, especially because we were all put at attention while he did it for 45 minutes. At boot, it was taps out and one of the RDCs show up and was doing a walkthrough. It was just before lights out. He was going through the head and then a loud scream, oh my god, he's jerking off, get your fudging dick out of your hand and out of my sight, why the fudge is your dick staring at me, recruit. X200B. Taps didn't happen as scheduled and I still talk to this guy X years later, also my bunkmate LMAO. X200B. X200B. Recruit McDonald got caught stealing food from Res by Sergeant Sanchez in the field. During cleanup, Sanchez made every recruit in our platoon walk past MCDs and throw their trash on him with McDonald mumbling, I'm loving it sir, over and over again while spinning in circles. Then there was that kid Hudson, who couldn't stop pissing his pants. Why does someone pissing themselves sound like a common thing in basic? Being overworked? Fear. I don't get it. Fear, nerves, didn't have a chance to go to the bathroom. There was a dumbass in my basic that after firing he had his rifle up on his shoulder pointing the wrong way, towards the DS, clearing it, with the mag still in. The DS, 6'8" bodybuilder, slammed the fudger into the sandbags screaming at him, and then the recruit had to lay prone in the dirt with holding a stick for a rifle, periodically saying bang for the next 3 or 4 hours. Somehow he still graduated with us. Story from my wife while she was in BCT. They are eating chow one day early on, maybe first or second day out of reception, and they hear a drill instructor yelling, "Why the fuck are you eating salad with a spoon?" Apparently, in reception they had been told not to bother with forks since they had 5 minutes to eat their meals. Dude wanted a salad, he decided fudge it, I'm eating salad with a spoon. Hilarity ensued. Drill instructors let everyone know that not using forks is a dumb fudging rule, and whoever told them that is fudging stupid.